Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Low Tide City 2023. I'm here with my good friend Toma, and we are opening top 16 for you all, and we are so excited to be here. Toma, how are you doing today?
Saf, I am so incredibly excited to be here, opening up the top 16 for Low Tide City here today with you. We've been through so much together, and now we are finally here. And you know, Saf, these teams too have been through so much today, fighting all of their way up through top 16 in their pools yesterday, and then some of them today and going on through redemption bracket to make it here to top 16 as well. And I'm sure we're going to see some fantastic gameplay from them. Our first match, Sonder versus Exhilarating. Saf, how ready are you for this?
Toma, I'm so ready. Both of these teams have put up an incredible fight to get to where they are at this moment, and we are going to be just zooming right in on over to Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. Let's get started here. Toma, tell me, what are we looking at on this screen here? What kind of composition are you seeing? I'm already seeing some things that I really like here.
Saf, you know exactly what I'm about to comment on here from Bronze. On Exhilarating, we are seeing the Tri-Stringer, my beloved main, coming out here today. And not a pick that you see often, but I love it here as well. You see a Sploosh uncommon as well from Exhilarating. On the side of Sonder, running a little bit more of a traditional comp, got that Machine Wiper, Splash, and Jet coming out. And right now, Exhilarating, though, has an early man advantage on the field as they've got this Rainmaker picked up, and they're going to be heading up this ramp here, trying to see if they can get a early first checkpoint, and it looks like they are as those Tri-Strikes come out to clear the way, Saf.
Yeah, the Tri-Strikes there was pretty crucial. Toma getting a lot of ink and coverage down. You had Dio there on the Sploosh-O-Matic trying to paint up a little bit of path, but we are actually going to see Exhilarating's push stop here at the 68 mark at the checkpoint. And you can see Sonder is now going to take this opportunity to try to push up. They are at a man advantage at this moment here. You can kind of see this stamp trying to come through and maybe clear some space in front of this checkpoint. But a counter stamp from Dio is going to come out, and Hemlo is going to find themselves falling off of the map, trying to get away from that stamp. And you can see Scrub here right now has this Rainmaker in their hands, having a lot of defense and good positioning from their teammates for Sonder to break the first checkpoint here. Just a 1 point difference.
Stop, and look, they've got people out in front of this Rainmaker too, ready to continue this push after the checkpoint pop. The Booyah coming out to give them even more space too, and they're going to be able to run that up and push it up to 30 on this map, Savin. This is not a map where you see a whole lot of KOs. It really comes down to this area with how far you can get it. The Ultra Stamp clearing the way there, able to extend their lead to 22, and now Exhilarating finally able to get some turf. Bronze is going to take that Rainmaker, get it up in this area over here. Looks like they're not going to try to opt to reset it here, maybe seeing if they can clear out that side space first. Finally dropping down, and they're going to be able to work their way a little bit out. They've got the Tri-Strikes. They're going to burn through a few of their specials to reclaim some space in mid, but Bronze going down with the Rainmaker on this elbow, and Sonder already up here and ready to continue pushing once again.
Yeah, the Sonder's presence in mid is just so incredibly strong right now, Toma. I mean, that entire middle section of the map was pink. There was not a green speckle in sight, so Exhilarating was having some trouble to try to break back out into the mid area. But right now we have two specials online for the side of Exhilarating. We have that Soda coming out and Tri-Strikes coming out here also to try to make some space. That was a good splat coming out there with the Tri-Strike, and you still see that the Tri-Stringer is going to be fighting here. Bronze going down. Nobody to contest this Rainmaker right now. They're going to push it all the way and go in for the KO. The first game goes to Sonder.
Sap, they did not know. They did not know that that Wiper was back there, able to pick up that win for Sonder. Incredible. You know, and that's not a situation you want to find yourself on very often. A 1v1 situation with the Splatoon Wiper. Very, very scary that the pressure that weapon can output, and when you're back there, Henlo able to bring that first game home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the positioning that Sonder was having during that game was just incredible. They were able to not only spread themselves out really well and to maintain their space and their territory on that map, but they were able to successfully move through different triumphs and hardships throughout. And I mean, they were just in the right place at the right time. Nobody was there to contest them and to take them out here. No one was there to contest them and take them out. And We had a nice little outfit change going up on the main stage there. That was really nice looking coming out from Exhilarating. But now we're going into our game number 2. We're going into Clam Blitz on Mako Mart. Toma, tell me a little bit about this map mode combo. What are you thinking? What are you hoping to see?
Oh my gosh, Safti, you know, unconventional weapons we saw from the side of Exhilarating, and they can definitely work here on Mako Mart as well. This is a map that, you know, the shooters will work anywhere and everywhere, but this map also really lends itself to kind of those off-shooter weapon choices. You've got rollers, you've got buckets, you've got splatanas that can really watch those ledges around the snipe kind of area and each of the stacks very well, play well with those areas to protect the space that they have. And on a game mode like Clam Blitz Saf, there is so little space from basket to basket that you have to be able to control those areas at all time. If you let them slip, things can escalate really rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much potential also for flanking here. There's a lot of verticality as well with having those stacks and having the boxes by Melons and going up into the spawning area. And you can see right now Toast is going to go ahead and bring that machine out once again. And you have Canon as well bringing out a machine. We're running a double Neo Splash combo here on the side of Exhilarating. I mean, I am feeling exhilarated. That is exhilarating.
I sure am. And those give so, if they can get those tri-strikes both open at the same time, you place one on the stack, you place one in front of the basket, it can really clear a lot of space. But right now they're going to be duking it out in mid. 2 down, 3 down on as they just trade back and forth right now, trying to find these picks. You know, Saf, you and I love to say it's always a team deathmatch until they can find those clams and the space to move forward. This Wiper is just tearing it up on the side of Sonder. Henlo playing excellently. The storms are the strikes coming out from Storm though on Exhilarating, trying to clear out this space, and it looks like they're going to be able to find Toast on the other side. Henlo there as well, going to go for the trade. Now 2 down on Sonder, 1 down on Exhilarating. They're just going to be fighting for that mid control, trying to find those clams once again to get a push together. Exhilarating able to save their power clam, throw it back up there to hopefully help with a push that they'll be getting going soon.
Yeah, the defense coming out from Exhilarating here is really crazy, but they got to be watching out for Henlo. Henlo once again finding themselves all the way on the flanking side of the map, taking one splat, looking for the other one, and now Sonder is going to be our first basket pop into this game at this moment. You have Henlo trying to guard the trenches there with their stamp, and you have all members of Exhilarating, 3 of them trying to come in from this left side, but right away you can still see that Shy is trying to hold that basket open, give themselves a little more time to try to break in and get more clams in, and they are successful at doing so, down to the 50 mark. But you can see Scrub here as well trying to come in, barely missing that bomb, still getting a little bit more clams in. There's still these little numbers on the bottom of the screen with jumps coming in to get more and more clams into this basket, just trying to keep it open and prolong the close as long as possible, and Sonder does it again.
Saf, that was absolutely incredible gameplay there. You saw they're Henlo keeping the members of Exhilarating busy trying to defend that basket, but not being able to break out, while the rest of the members of Sonder were able to use that opportunity to go back into mid and find clams. And you saw they'd come back one by one, feeding those clams that they had into the basket to keep it open, and that is what enabled that 0 to 100. They're able to just really work down that score without ever letting that basket close.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Clam Blitz in this current meta right now, Toma, is that a lot of times, like, rushing the basket with power clams, with clams, and just trying to get in there and throw them in as quickly as possible is not always the best solution. And we got to see it right here with Sonder. Sonder gave us a perfect example. Sometimes you need to just prolong that close so that you can have some time to get a little bit more clams, build your economy up, and then just keep throwing them in. It was just one power clam pop and 0 to 100 just right away. And sometimes that is the best option. That is the best course of action, and I'm so glad that we got to see it here right on the main stage.
That's so true. And speaking of something else that I'm really excited to see, our next map, Splat Zones on Umami Ruins. It is one of the new maps to this season, and the new map to Splatoon 3 overall. Tell me a little bit about this map. In the time that we've had it this season, what kind of plays do you see that works here? It's one of our few double zoned maps as well, giving these teams a lot of space and area that they need to work with and work around.
Toma, I'm a huge fan of double zone maps. I've said this almost on everything that I've ever been on that has double zone maps in it. I'm a huge fan of them, and Umami Ruins is also no exception. I mean, the zones are very small, and they're so close together as well. So always making sure that your team has your zone captured while fighting for the opposing team's zone is always super crucial, and I feel that it sometimes becomes the priority a lot of the time. You really want to make sure that you maintain your zone first and foremost before you try and push forward, and there's a lot of potential for flanking once again on this map. It's kind of a small middle section, but I think especially with having such aggressive weapons coming out on the side of Sonder, Exhilarating really needs to be watching out for where Henlo is going to be. And we have a reflux. Is that a reflux I'm seeing?
That is a reflux, Sav. Not something I'm used to seeing come out. But, you know, it's got some buffs recently as well that can really help it fight. And, of course, it's got those missiles that we already see coming out along with the tri-strikes from Sonder to be able to clear these zones and start scoring so early on into the game. But 2 down right now. They're just going to try to keep their offensive front here with the reflux and the wiper from Henlo. And in that 2 up or down situation, they still held that space really well. And look, a pick from the reflux as well. Sonder, despite going down, is still able to hold these zones, and now they have 3 down on Exhilarating.
Yeah, Sonder's presence in this game right now is active and aggressive right now, Toma. I mean, just watching those missiles with the tri-strikes coming out earlier, it felt like we were just like watching fireworks, kind of. I mean, you could see the missiles coming out and then the tri-strikes trying to follow up. It was almost like a coordinated show that we got to see here on the main stage. But right now, you can see down to the 39 mark, Exhilarating is fighting to maintain their zone on that right side there. Shy, once again, launching a few more missiles out there. Cannon kind of running the missiles through their zone, unfortunately, at that moment. But now we can see Exhilarating's got a couple points on the board. Their presence is now being known in this game, and now we are going to be ticking on down this timer.
They've got Bronze set up here on this top mid with that Stringer, watching the entry options that Sonder has at hand. Storm and Dio trying to push forward, maybe paint up for that special, see if they can get those crab tanks online. But Dio going down there and actually getting the trade on Toast. But the strikes now coming out, going to be able to neutralize this one zone, and that is going to be actually the zone cap for Sonder. They're going to be giving penalty over to Exhilarating, but 2 down on Sonder, and the full wipeout, Saf. This is going to be Exhilarating's opportunity to really push forward past this like small choke point here and get into the base of Sonder. The more that they can delay Sonder from coming out, the more time they're going to burn off this clock. They're almost through their penalty to start scoring again, Saf, and now the timer is going to be ticking down for real as they're going to be growing ever closer to this lead change. Just 10 ticks away, Saf, but the strikes are coming out, in Henlo on the top mid with the hammer. Gonna find the crab, but not fast enough to prevent the lead change. Henlo, though, popping off on this hammer on the side, but they need to find this zone, Saf.
Yeah, they need to find this zone quickly, Toma. Bronze is looking to find themselves pretty comfortable in this top mid area, especially after firing that killer whale too. 2 members down on the side of Sonder, having some trouble breaking in. We have 7 seconds left to go right now, Toma. The reflex trying to come out and get some space, but Exhilarating is not going to let them have it. Exhilarating is still in this game.
Oh my gosh, what an entertaining back and forth. And right after they were able to find that wipe on to Sonder, they were able to use that space to have, and this is the key to this map. You really have to move forward through that choke point. You have to take space up in their base. It's one of those things where if you don't let them, if you can't prevent their access kind of to that little circle snipe block area, that's kind of the main vantage point that they have to break back in. If you can deny that and keep them locked in, you can really burn time off the clock.
Well, yeah, and especially right when that wipeout, Toma, right when that wipeout happened, you could see that the members of Exhilarating were able to fan out right in front of that choke point. They did not give Sonder any space to enter back into the map for quite some time, and allowing that lead change to just switch over almost effortlessly. I mean, Exhilarating brought the fight in this one, and I think they are going to be continuing to do that into our Game 4 on Tower Control Inkplot.
Oh my gosh, and Saf, this is a very, very familiar map mode to any, Splatoon 2 players. We saw this all the time in Splatoon 2, just an excellent tower control map. And, I think you can say for both of us, one of the huge things here on Tower Control Inkblot, making sure first when you're doing that initial push, you want to take control of that big stack that's right in front of your first checkpoint. You want to get there so you can be able to kind of reach over that ledge and protect your tower at that first checkpoint. And once it's there, you really want to push into that upper area of their base. Once you can get in there and you can kind of stop them from reaching the tower, you're able to cruise along pretty uncontested, but that is way easier said than done.
Absolutely, and you already know me with this map, Toma. The key position in this map is always going to be the bats. It is the back platform of the main platform where the umbrella is located, between the second and third checkpoint. This position is always huge to be taking if you want to try to get your tower into a snowball scenario here. And once again, we're not seeing really any changes coming out from the side of Sonder, but Exhilarating here, we still have this jet in our pockets here at this moment. But once again, Sonder is going to be the ones to find themselves in the middle of the map right away here. But with having the amount of range that Exhilarating has, they're not making it easy for them. This map is going pretty purple very quickly. But once again, we have the Tri-Strikes coming out, trying to cover the front platform there at this moment, and the Crab as well, trying to make its way down into mid to find some space. Henlo being down right now with a Crab on response by Exhilarating at this moment. Nobody has taken the tower quite yet. We're just kind of looking for these 1v1 fights at the moment to find some safety in it, but Exhilarating is going to be the first ones to take the tower, taking one splat, looking to get the booyah. They take two splats, preventing that booyah bomb from coming forward, and the Tri-Strikes are going to try to clear that tower to kind of get them away, saying, hey, Exhilarating, you got to get out of there. This is going to be our space, but Exhilarating is not going to be deterred from that. The Ink Storm is going to come out on plat, and then we are now at checkpoint 1.
Absolutely, you saw it there. Dio, I believe, throwing those Tri-Strikes to kind of clear way for this tower as Exhilarating is now going to be approaching checkpoint 2. Toasty here in the corner here, going to find a pick, going to get the Booyah Bomb out, kind of clips right onto the edge there. Toast not able to find the tower, but has forced Exhilarating back some with those great picks now. The tower is going to be kind of returning back around this corner, but with one down on Sonder, Exhilarating is going to be looking to push again. You already see somebody on the ink rail over there trying to get their way up. Bronze going down, though, the rain here to support it, but Toast again in a great position with that machine to defend tower. And it looks like for real now we're going to be returning to mid, especially as Exhilarating has just Bronze up on that jet now. It's going to give Sonder some opportunity to get a push in.
Yeah, and Toast was doing an excellent job defending that bats area, Toma. I mean, Exhilarating kept trying to break into the platform, and Toast was just not letting them have it at all. And now the tower has switched possession. We have Sonder making their way to the second checkpoint at this moment, trying to get broken in there. You have the Crab and Ink Strikes coming out. The lead change happening for Sonder right now. If they're able to maintain this space on this platform and make their way into checkpoint 3, we could find ourselves into a snowball situation. You have 2 members of Sonder taking 2 members of Exhilarating down away from that bats area. That tower is still moving with 3 members of Exhilarating down at this moment, and it's still, the tower is still moving. You have Toast on the tower. Everybody in Exhilarating is trying to break back into this map, Toma.
Yes, and Henlo jumping back in as well, but it looks like that is finally going to be the push over for Sonder at the moment. But Saf, that was so beautifully executed. They did exactly what we said that they needed to do here to find success there. Henlo was up there in that bats area, just really wreaking chaos, allowing that tower to proceed without facing too much fire. But now it's Exhilarating on the response. Sonder's going to throw out some strikes here to try to delay tower out if they can, but you've already got that rain out as well. Bronze is going to be moving up along with Dio and Storm here. The Crab is going to be firing into bats. Here comes Cannon as well with the machine with a great pick. Henlo with the stamp to try to stop the tower. Going to be throwing it in. Doesn't quite connect. Shy rushing down the tower as well. Henlo going to fall down. Going to be forced to back up, and somebody needs to get on though. Here we go, as it's going to be trudging back up to this second checkpoint. Look where these players are. They're in a great position. Going to be stalled out for just a second by this Booyah Bomb, but it finds the machine, Saf. And that is going to force 2 down, and it's going to make Exhilarating have to back up here. But you can see, Saf, they did not want them to get out. A little bit of a delayed wipe as they backed up. Scrub and the rest of the members of Sonder just really collapsed in on them and didn't give them that space.
Yeah, that Tri-Strike coming out was so crucial, Toma. I mean, not only the Booyah Bomb to try to clear some space, but also the Tri-Strike coming out just shortly after it, keeping the members of Exhilarating away from that tower. And now we have Tri-Strikes coming out once again, clearing that elbow area into Bats. You have Henlo completely covering the Bats area and keeping an eye out for anybody that's going to try and break through this tower. Now, once again, on the way to the 3rd checkpoint. Everybody is up and alive with about 30 seconds left in this game. We are still seeing Sonder trying to push this tower and keeping it on the plat area so it does not go backwards. But once again, Tri-Strikes coming out from Exhilarating and Booyah Bomb coming out from behind to try to follow up. But Exhilarating is going to be maintaining their space and maintaining their platform right now. They still have 15 seconds to try to switch this lead.
They sure do, and right now tower is in their possession, so they are set right now to trigger overtime, but they've got to find the space forward to make that overpush and push come together. But one's already going down from these Tri-Strikes and these torpedoes. Shy going to be rushing the tower there to claim the game for Sonder.
Just beautifully executed, Toma. I mean, Exhilarating gave them a run for their money, I must say, but just watching the amount of control that they had on the Bats area, keeping that area clear. And there was a point too with Exhilarating where you had 3 members running up into that platform to try to displace Sonder from coming back into the map, and then vice versa. Sonder was doing the same thing. You had Toast completely guarding that elbow with the initial push from Exhilarating and just not letting anybody through. And as soon as that possession change happened, you had Toast pushing all the way up and trying to look for splats underneath their platform. I mean, just beautifully played. Right place, right time, knowing where you got to be.
Absolutely, Stopping. You know, these teams are showing why they've made it here to the top 16 portion of this tournament here today. And it's that kind of awareness, that kind of movement together as a team and coordination that really sets the difference between the teams that make it here to the top 16 bracket today and the teams that do not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the amount of skill and just coordination that you need to have in order to find yourself in the right place, it takes so much skill and so much work. It's so amazing getting to watch this kind of higher level competitive play, because you get to see the call outs happening in those headsets in real time. You see what is actually happening, and you can tell in your mind once you've developed the eye for it, exactly what they're saying and what they're doing, and it's so well executed. I just love it.
You can see it, and unlike the online tournaments, now sometimes we can hear it right up there on the stage. You can hear those call-outs coming out sometimes, and you're like, oh yeah, they're going to be responding right on to that.
Absolutely. There's a lot of fun happening down here in Austin, Texas. We actually had a really awesome dinner last night together as well, getting a lot of really tasty food and getting to meet a bunch of friends and kind of talk and chat about what we were going to be seeing and doing today. And it's exhilarating. It's exhilarating to be here.
It sure is exhilarating stuff. You know, all these excellent opportunities coming together at these LANs for just all these players that you see online, you see in these tournaments competing all the time. But the vibe is so different when you're all there in person, and it's so incredible to see it all come together.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we have such a great setup here at Low Tide City this year. There's so much support and charisma coming out from everybody, getting to be here, getting to meet your friends, see people you haven't seen in a while, meeting new friends, old friends. It's a treat to be here with Toma, and especially a treat to be here with you today.
Well, if you had told me, like, this time, how many ever months ago Ludi Tonight was when we were doing all those sets together, it's like, hey, we were going to see each other in person finally in Low Tide City here, I'd be like, no, I think before I had always been nervous about going to these LANs and, you know, getting out here, getting to meet so many incredible people. It's really a great